Thank you for joining me for innate astrology. My apologies for the last minute timing on this video. Mercury retrograde is doing everything it can, and it hasn't technically started yet, to prevent me from making this video. So let's take a look at this Aries new moon and solar eclipse that we have coming up on the 20th, and some of the energies that we'll be experiencing through this and what it means for us. Now, a new moon is an opportunity for a new beginning in whatever house that particular sign occupies in your natal chart. So you'll want to look at Aries in your natal chart, the house or houses that occupies, and that will give you an idea of what area of your life that you'll be experiencing these energies in. There may be planets there, of course, and points that affect the energy, but I'll give the overview of what the energy is about so that you'll have an idea at least of what may be changing and transforming for you. Now, a moon cycle begins with the new moon and ends with the full moon in the same sign later in the year, approximately 6 months later. The full moon in Aries will happen on September 29th, and it will be at 6 degrees, which is a Virgo degree. So there's going to be a lot of analyzing and separating what is valuable and what is not in our lives in the area that Aries occupies in your chart. Virgo is about separating literally what is valuable from what is not, analyzing, and organizing in a way that's useful. Now, this Aries new moon is at 29 degrees. That is an anaretic degree, as I'm sure you have heard from many sources. It's much talked about. That means it's a degree of finality. We are ending a chapter and being offered an opportunity to start new. Now, with a solar eclipse there, a solar eclipse reveals something for us. So this is going to reveal what needs to be renewed in that area of our life that Aries represents in our natal chart. Now, Aries represents the individual, as we know. The underlying energy here is about stepping out into the world in our authenticity, showing the world who we really are. And in that, we begin to create a life that is more like what we imagine for ourselves. That's how we find our destiny, our path that's meant for us. If we are presenting ourselves to the world in a way that somehow has a mask over it or isn't fully authentic, then we tend to find ourselves involved in situations, experiences, and with people that aren't quite right for us. And it creates struggle and difficulty. So it's imperative that we present ourselves to the world in a way that's fully authentic. We've had a lot of energy supporting that over the last few months, even into the last few years. Um, if we want to get on our life path, if we want to find our destined path, we can't do that if we're not being fully authentic in the way that we give our energy out to the world. Now, this full moon is an opportunity to take back that personal empowerment that gives us control over what we are creating in our life. We often give away that power of how our personal experience is created. We give it away in so many aspects, often not even realizing that we are. So this is an opportunity with some very powerful energies to take back control of what we are creating and how we are creating our experience in the area of life that Aries rules within our natal chart. And it will be different for all of us, of course. Now, this is about very much about your individualism. It's about no longer allowing circumstances or individuals to undermine your authenticity or what you are wanting to create for yourself in your life, what you're wanting to change. Now, when we have a solar eclipse, as I mentioned, it reveals for us, it gives us clarity. Now, with a new moon, as I said, this is revealing what needs a new start in the area of our natal chart that Aries rules. Now, when a solar eclipse is conjunct the North Node, that is energizing our North Node. Wherever you may have your North Node, this new beginning, clarity, fresh start, and revelation will be affecting your North Node placement. It will be helping you see the North Node path that you should be on in regards to the area of life that Aries rules in your chart. Now, Pluto is squaring this energy. Pluto wants us in all things to be very realistic. Pluto wants us to present ourselves to the world in a very realistic way. And Pluto wants us to be passionate about our life and what we pursue. So that energy squaring this is going to help us with this authenticity that we need to step into. Now, as I mentioned, this new moon, solar eclipse, North Node, and Uranus is there as well, which is lightning strikes out of the blue that can help you make changes that are necessary in your life. But all of this energy, it's an option. We are being given the opportunity to make a fresh start, and we can choose that, or we can stay in the experience that we already have within that part of our life that Aries rules in our natal chart. Now, I mentioned that Uranus is there. Now, that can have some very fated, sudden changes that propel us in the direction of our destiny. And Pluto, of course, as I mentioned, being there, squaring it. It's not only about being very real in how you present yourself, but also not being able to turn around and go back. Pluto does not want us to move away from something that isn't working for us and then turn around and go back. So Pluto helps us make it final, to really make the decision, make the commitment. Let's see. Looking at my notes, there were so many little things that I wanted to point out about this. Now, the North Node will move into Aries in July. Now, considering that this is an Aries new moon, it is about our individuality, our individual experience, that energy that represents who we are, that we give to the world. When the North Node goes into Aries in July, we are really going to again be focused on our personal experience, what we need, what we want in our lives, how we want to experience our lives, how we want to build it, how we want to structure it and change it. And during this energy between the Aries new moon and then the Aries full moon in September on the 29th, this time frame where we're going to be making transformations in regards to our personal experience within the part of our life that Aries rules in our natal chart. During that time, we're going to have a lot of other transits of the planets, a lot going on that will support what we need to make changes in, what we need to do, and help us see what we truly need and want. because that is another foundational energy of this. This is about deciding who we want to be, what we want in our lives, what is of value and what is not, um, releasing things that do not support our authenticity, that do not support the life path that we are moving down. It's helping us create a foundation of people and experiences that will support this new path that we are going to step into if we choose it. Again, it is always a choice to move with these energies or to stay with what you have until the next cycle. Some cycles are more powerful than others when it comes to making changes. This happens to be a very powerful cycle of change. Now, the North Node in Aries is going to have us focusing in on what is needed and wanted by us, what our personal experience is, how we want to create that. And the South Node will be in Libra, of course, and that's going to help us release connections and commitments that do not support our new path, our new beginning. Now, Pluto goes retrograde in Capricorn in June until January of 2024. Now, Pluto is going to help us reevaluate how we manage our life, how we manage our time, who and what manages us in our lives. And again, whatever house you have Capricorn in your life, in your natal chart, that will tell you the area of life where you're going to be reevaluating what is in control or who is in control. And again, taking back your power in that area so that you are the manager of your life, that you are the one creating your experience. Now we have the sun moving into Taurus there at on the 20th as well. It'll be at 0 degrees Taurus just after this eclipse. So we're going to begin this new cycle considering our self-worth, how we are valued by others, how we value ourselves, what is of value to us. That is a big theme, as I've mentioned a couple times already in the video. And what we want to, what brings us joy, what brings us pleasure, what we want to experience in our daily life. And it is about restructuring that daily experience, because what we experience on a daily basis is what our life is made of. So we are very much looking at how we want to be present in those daily experiences, how we want to express ourselves, how we want to structure that time so that we can enjoy our lives more, and so that we feel like, or that we know, we are moving towards our destiny. We are getting on our life path that we should have always been on. There have been so many things that have detoured most of us when it comes to our life path. We often find when we look through our birth charts and decipher them that we have been off and on of that proper path all throughout our lives. And we tend to end up doing exactly the things we're supposed to do, but it is much easier to get aligned with that destined path when you understand the energies that are happening within the planets in the universe, and able to use them to your benefit. You know, most of us nowadays, we have more than one thing we're meant to do in this life. Most of us. Unlike several decades or centuries ago when people were born to do one thing. They had one life path and they did one thing all their lives. We are coming onto the planet where in our lives, as we move through different cycles and parts of our experience, we do different things that prepare us for the next big transformation in our lives. We may have many different jobs. And of course, when we go through these cycles of change, those people that are part of our lives tend to cycle in and out and change with it. And that is so that we can have the support that we need. And when it comes to being authentic, it is so very important to have a support network in your life that allows you to be authentic and be comfortable in that skin, and that supports you in that, that will help you move into that authenticity and help you move onto your path of destiny. As I've mentioned in some of the other videos, to create our destiny, we must collaborate with others. And in that, they also create their destiny path as well. And Venus and Gemini is helping us reevaluate those who are in our lives, how we interact with them, how we communicate, how we connect, so that we can, again, with the Virgo energies, remove what is not of value and keep what is, and bring in experiences and connections that are of more value in regards to this new person and this new life, this new path that we are beginning. Now, Mercury is going to go retrograde the day after, on the 21st, and that is going to help us relearn how we speak to ourselves, relearn how we communicate with others, relearn how we perceive value, because it is in the sign of Taurus. So this is about what is valuable to us, how we see our self-value, how we are valued by others, what we have to offer to the world of value, and the things that we bring into our life that we find valuable. So Mercury retrograde in Taurus is going to let us look through the lens of this new energy that we are presenting to the world, this new path that we are stepping onto. It is going to let us relearn how to communicate to others what we need and want, to relearn what we place value on, and how we think and talk to ourselves about our own self-worth. So all the planets play a part in this to help us make the most of these energies. It's like a lovely little puzzle that fits together. And we often don't notice what's happening and the changes that are coming because they are very subtle. However, they do span, like I mentioned, the moon cycle, which goes from now until September 29th on the Aries full moon. However, with Uranus being involved, we may experience some very sudden, out of the blue experiences that could change our lives, that could really move us from where we are and what we are experiencing very quickly into a life path and a life experience that is much more what we would like to experience. Now, those sudden changes could happen at the time of this solar eclipse and new moon. They could happen at any point during this moon cycle. So faded connections, faded conversations, sudden lightning strikes out of the blue that help us jump into the experience and the life path, the life experience, and the changes that we will like to make in order to be experiencing the life that we feel like we should be living. Now, there's a lunar eclipse in Scorpio on May 5th that will be happening as this energy is moving through our lives. And lunar eclipses help remove things that are not supportive of us. They help remove blocks and things that are inhibiting us. Now, it is in Scorpio, and Scorpio is very much about what we feel, our deep emotions. Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio. Pluto will be just at the beginning of Aquarius at this time. The energy overall is, in a nutshell, it's time to be authentic. You have the option here. You have the opportunity to use some very powerful energies to step into your authenticity, present that to the world, get onto a path that will allow you to create the life that you want to be leading, to make the connections that will support that, and to release things that do not support it. Now on 5/7, Venus is going to move into Cancer, and it will be there for 4 months. I'm sorry, in Leo. She'll be 4 months in Leo. When Venus is in Cancer, that is going to really have us focused on what we need and want when it comes to that feeling of foundation, of home, our literal home, or what makes us feel at home. It's going to have us really looking at those people that surround us in that private time, in that private space. Do they support us? Do they not? Does that foundational experience, that experience of home that we have, does that support our authenticity? Does it support the life that we want to create for ourselves? Does it support this new path we're on? So we're going to be looking at how that very personal time and those very personal relationships affect our ability to create the destiny that we want for ourselves. Now, when Venus moves into Leo, she will be there 4 months, and Leo is very much that energy of the king, the ruler. It rules the 5th house in the natural zodiac. That is your house of creation. Your natural and inherent creative abilities are found in the 5th house. Now, Leo being the energy of the king, the ruler, this is going to be Venus helping us reevaluate, look at, and restructure a circumstance where we again are empowered to be in control of what we create, of our lives. You can look at the area where Leo rules your chart, and that will help you understand what part of your life that Venus is going to bring some blessings, some loveliness into. Venus always brings good feelings, and she is also money. She is our career, how we receive value from our career, as well as our relationships with others, how we enjoy passion and how we enjoy beauty. So in Leo, that's going to be very strong, and it's going to be very much about understanding what we need to create in order to feel that our life is beautiful, that we are experiencing pleasure in that part of our life that Leo represents in our natal chart. Now, there are so many energies supporting all of this. Overall, what we will experience for the next 6 months with this Aries new moon solar eclipse energy is, if we choose to take the opportunity to start to recreate or create a new experience in the part of our life that Aries represents in our natal chart, we're going to analyze and make decisions about what we personally need and want, how we're going to present ourselves to the world, We're going to learn to communicate our needs and wants and our boundaries better to the others in our life. We are going to be looking at our relationships and deciding if we value them, how we value them. Do they value us? Do they support us? Do they support the change we want to make in this area of our life? And we'll be releasing things that do not create support, that do not support our authenticity. And of course, when we say, releasing things, people get very nervous about, oh, well, I don't want people to leave my life. Just keep in mind that if you want to create the life that you imagine for yourself, experience your life in a way that brings you joy and pleasure and success and feels like it fits the real you, then you need the people around you that are meant to connect to that real you, that will support that real you, that bring harmony and balance, that make you feel empowered. And if you've made connections with people when you weren't really being your authentic self, when you weren't showing them the real you, then those connections most likely are not going to support a change into authenticity. They can transform. Oftentimes when we show people the real us, they receive it beautifully, and that may be the case. That could be some of the things that are revealed by this solar eclipse for you. The people that you have in your life that have been waiting for you to just step out with the real you, to let your true authentic energy shine. You could discover that you are truly on your path, that you are exactly where you should be, and that there are experiences and people in your life that fully support that are helping you to create the life you want, that perhaps you didn't realize before were such an important part of that experience. Now we're going to look at Aries in each house. Now we're going to be looking at both ends of the axis. Now this Aries, Libra is always on the opposite end of Aries in your chart. So this energy activates both Aries and Libra. Now that represents you, the individual, your needs, your wants, your desires, your personal power, and those same energies in others. Libra represents others in our life, our commitment to others, whether it be business, romantic, family. All the other people in our life that we are connected to are represented by Libra. So this energy will be activating both Aries and Libra and what they represent. And whatever house they're in, it will activate both houses. So we're going to do a general overview of each of those axes and the houses and what they represent within our lives. If Aries is in your first or seventh house, either way, Aries and Libra will be on the opposite ends there. This is all about who you are, the energy that you represent, that you give to the world, your personal authenticity, your needs, wants, and desires, what you want to create in your life, the life that you want to create for yourself, how that energy works with the others in your life. Are they supportive of it? Are they not? How do your commitments affect your ability to be authentic, to create the life you want? So you will be looking at those connections and the balance that they either create or do not create, and how those things need to be renewed. What needs to start new in those connections or within yourself in order to be able to move onto a path where you begin to create the life that you really want for yourself. It is all about balance on every axis. And in this case, this is about what commitments you have that affect you either positively or negatively with your personal needs. Perhaps where you've lost your personal power to control what your life is and the directions that you go in, what you personally want for yourself. Because it is a bit about that personal empowerment, getting back that power to be in control of our lives and be the manager of our creation. Now, if you have Aries in the 2nd or 8th house, you're going to be considering a new start, offered the opportunity for a new beginning in regards to your personal self-worth, how you see that, the things that you personally value, how you personally create value, and then how others bring value into your life. The 8th house is about what we receive from others that is of value. So you're going to be offered an opportunity and revealed, things will be revealed again in a solar eclipse. You're going to get a fresh perspective on how the balance of the exchange of value with you and others affects your ability to create the life that you want. What needs to change? What do you need? What do you want? How others value you as well, or do not, if the case may be. But it will be about finding balance and a new beginning, a new opportunity to create a more positive experience when it comes to your personal self-worth and the worth and value that others bring into your life. Now, if you have Aries on the 3rd or 9th house, this is about a new opportunity, a new start in regards to the small world that you experience every day, which is the 3rd house, and the wider world that's out there for you in the 9th house. It is about our neighbors, our siblings, the people and experiences we have every day, repeated experiences there in our neighborhoods, and then that world, the big world that is full of promise and possibility. This is an opportunity for you to look at how your immediate environment that you experience every day may or may not be supporting your authenticity and the life that you want to create for yourself. Perhaps it is time to move into a different environment. Literally move. Maybe it's time to move out into a bigger space where you can expand your experience in the wider world that has more opportunities, and in a way that supports you being authentic and supports the things that you need and want to have in your life. Now, if you have Aries in the 4th or 10th house, you're going to be offered an opportunity for a new start in regards to your foundation and what makes you feel nurtured and safe and at home, whether it's your literal home or the feeling of home. This is your 4th house is your private time and those that you share it with. And the 10th house is your public experience, what people expect you to be, how they see you in public. It's your career as opposed to home in the 4th house, your private time in the 4th house, your public time in the 10th house. So this is an opportunity to recreate, to start fresh in those areas, and really look at how your home life and your career life may or may not support your authenticity and the life that you want. Perhaps it is time for a change of career. Perhaps it is time for a change of where or what you call home, and the people that are part of those two areas of your life. You'll be looking at if they support your authenticity and the path that you want to move down in order to create the experience you want in your life. So it will be all about balancing out and weighing up what you experience in your home and private life and what you experience in your public life and your career, and how it is going to or not going to support who you want to become, this new beginning, this new life and path that you want to start moving down. Now, if you have Aries in the 5th or 11th house, this is about your individual creativity and expression of who you are, your natural, inherent abilities that come easily to you, the things you can do without even trying, your natural skills. How you present those, how you use them within the 11th house, which is where we collaborate with others to bring our dreams into reality. Those natural skills that we have. In the 11th house, we use them, we connect to the others who are meant to help us along our destined path, our friends, our colleagues. And that's where we create our life and where we build those dreams that we have for ourselves. So you're going to be looking at how your individual experience, your individual expression and use of your natural skills, how that and those that are your friends and colleagues, how that does or does not support what you really want for yourself in your life, the life you really want to live, and the way you want to express those natural creative skills. It may be time for a change in your friend circle. It may be time for a different interaction with colleagues. Perhaps you need to rethink how you use your natural skills, your innate talents and abilities within your life. And there is a very strong energy that supports creativity within this all year. If you are an artist or a creator, then this is a very big time where you could find yourself moving onto a path that allows you to use that skill for your art in a way that puts you on your path of destiny. But this energy is an opportunity to reevaluate how you present those things you create to the world, and how the people that you collaborate with in your friend groups and within your group of colleagues, how they do or do not support this path that you want to take, this life that you want to create. Now, I have to say also, the 5th house is literally where we create our children. So that is a possibility for those who are in that place in their life, that this could see you making the decision to bring children into your life. So I have to mention that, since it is definitely a possibility. Now, if you have Aries on the 6th and 12th house axis, this is about a new beginning and revelations in that mind, body, and soul balance. Virgo is the body. It is our daily experience, how we structure our daily time, what we do, our physical health. And Pisces is our emotional, psychological, spiritual, and intuitive health. It is the things that we know are there but are not tangible, whereas the 6th house is the tangible things that we experience and do every day, the tangible physical body. So this is an opportunity for you to begin a new experience within perhaps your spiritual experience, within the emotions that may or may not be supporting your authenticity and the life that you want, uh, physical habits that may not be supportive of the life that you want to create, looking at how you structure your day. Does that support the life that you would like to be living? Do these things, does this mind, body, and soul balance, is it balanced? Is it going to support the life you want to create for yourself? Are there changes that need to be made? Are there behaviors or patterns that need to be released, either physical or emotional, that may be inhibiting your ability to create the life that you want, to present yourself to the world the way you would like to? Dream time and escapism, that's the 12th house. Perhaps there need to be changes, a new start in regards to how you do or do not escape the reality of your experience. In the 6th house, it could be very much about starting a new way of using your time in a day, or actual physical changes that are more supportive of the life that you would like to experience. I personally have Aries on the 1st, 7th house axis, and this is all happening exactly on my ascendant. I have a 29 degree and 44 minute ascendant in Aries, and it is squaring my north node, and it is squaring my Saturn and moon. It is opposing my natal Uranus. It's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out for me personally. Any phenomenal experiences I will post about. But I'm very curious to see. I already see some of the changes and things that are being set in motion. Because again, this is about you deciding what you need and want for you. What you want your life to be. And taking the opportunity to start creating that. And start experiencing a life that supports who you truly are, that allows you to be yourself, to be authentic, and to create a structure within that life of people and experiences that support that. All of these energies want us to be who we are meant to be and have the life we are meant to have wonderful experiences that create growth and joy and prosperity. And the entire universe is conspiring to help us all create that. And we are doing it piece by piece in our life. That's where the houses come into play. I happen to be experiencing this in my physical, personal house and the house of others. And as we move through the year, there will be energies within other houses within my chart and yours as well that will help us make changes, begin new starts that support this energy that we're in right now for our personal experience. I hope the information has helped you get an idea of where you are being offered the opportunity to make a fresh start and really start creating the life that you want for yourself. And I hope that it helps you use the energy, in a way that makes that successful for you. I hope that you'll join me for more videos. There will be more coming up. There are so many transits and important things happening that will be supporting this energy over the next few months, that I will try to be covering them all, and hopefully Mercury retrograde will not interfere so much and allow me to get them out in a more timely manner. Thanks again for joining me.